properly saw this twist coming, I don't think. Suggestions are that he will be appointed as the interim manager at Chelsea, returning to the side, of course, where he coached over 80 games. Luis Garcia is still with us from the Maldives. Also, certainly not from the Maldives, is Don Hutchison, who joins us. Don, your BFF back.
Hey! Yes, the band is getting back together, Dan.
Oh, no. What band? What role do you have in the band?
I didn't see this one coming.
It's a roadie.
It's a tricky one, this, because on the face of it, it looks ludicrous. It looks really weird. And Todd Boehly's come in and said, listen, we're not going to change any managers. We're going to have a long-term plan. Well, he's looking for his third manager in one season. The only thing is, while there's managers out there that might be, thought of like Antonio Conte, but that's a difficult one because of the package and the severance and the garden leave, etc. All the papers are suggesting that it's Luis Enrique next season with Frank Lampard taking over. In the short term, it doesn't seem as mad as it sounds. He might be able to do a job from now to the end of the season. I know it's Chelsea. I know it sounds bonkers, and it is bonkers. And I'm going to use the phrase that I hate, Dan, and I'm going to use this as a free hit for him. They're sitting in 11th, they're on 39 points, they're not going to go any lower. So if you try and simplify the whole thing and you say, right, what's the best for Chelsea at the moment, is maybe Frank Lampard working with some young players, giving them a little bit of confidence. It gives his stock a chance of suggesting to other Premier League teams that he's still willing to take a big job and then could maybe go to a lower league Premier League job. But it is a little bit bonkers on the surface, but it might just work.
Will it work? Is it a good idea?
What, hold on. What do we accept as work?
Well, scoring a goal would be a start.
Hey! Here we go.
Yes.
Yeah, because they ain't going to win anything. Frank Lampard, when that phone rang, must have thought it was one of those prank UK TV shows.
Yep.
He must have done.
There were prank calls in the US as well.
Yeah, but he's in the UK.
Right. Tom Boehly's American.
I mean, this...
Hey there, Frank.
This sums up Chelsea in a nutshell. I mean, they are supposed to have a strategy. A long-term strategy, we were told. I've called it a circus this week, and that won't change. The signing strategy, recruitment strategy has been a circus. This adds to the circus. Frank Lampard has been Chelsea manager. He was sacked.
Yes.
He's recently been Everton manager. He was sacked. Come on. Is this the view? Is this the mindset and the
So what's the other option that they should have gone for? How should they have approached this if not appointing Frank Lampard?
Well, they need to appoint a full-time manager.
But they can't get one at the moment. They want to do due diligence. They want a long-term project. They want to interview every manager, have a good proper chat, see what's happening.
They want to do due diligence.
Exactly. They want to do it properly this time.
No, that's not.
So they don't want to rush into it. They don't want to hire someone today and then regret it by the end of the season.
Well, we were told they had done a very deep dive on Graham Potter.
Right.
Well, Todd Boehly. Because at the time, Todd Boehly, if they both walked in and sat at a table for a pizza together last summer, Todd Boehly would not have known who Graham Potter was.
Why are they having a pizza?
Right.
But they sacked Tuchel and then they hired Potter the next day, didn't they?
Right, no, but you got... No, listen. Yes, that's the case. But you got to have felt they'd already made a decision and they'd done their homework.
So maybe now they're trying to learn from their mistakes and not rush into things.
Good luck to Frank Lampard. I mean, this is like winning the lottery for him short term. The best he was going to get, along with Steven Gerrard, he's talking about similar eras, was the Championship.
Right.
So, it's a joke.
Right.
The whole thing, the whole club, the whole ownership, the whole way they're going about it, the fact that they've got almost double the amount of professional players, first-team players, that most other clubs have, and managers are going to have to manage that dressing room. It's just bonkers.
But you haven't offered me a solution yet.
Well, the solution was to... We thought they were going to go and hire a Nagelsmann or somebody like that. And what are they going to do? Just wait till the summer, when the manager that they might want might go somewhere else.
Right.
Well, I don't understand.
Like, how committed is the manager? Maybe they can't get these big names, this Luis Enrique.
What's wrong with the people that were... The guy that was in charge...
Bruno.
For the weekend.
Right.
And other people that are within the club.
Well, because maybe they feel that Frank Lampard's more of an inspiration because of what he's done and what he...
Well, he wasn't that much of an inspiration because he got sacked at Chelsea and he couldn't inspire Everton.
Well, maybe I've got nothing than Bruno.
I've got nothing. Look, this is another classic case of we'll just bring somebody back in to appease the fans.
Right.
See, this is Burley and his cronies. They're appeasing supporters now to a certain extent. The strikers couldn't hit a barn door from 5 yards. They can't defend. They're losing goals. They got first-team players on fortunes that can't even get near the game. The crowd are restless. They've got one big thing to play for, and they're playing Real Madrid, so that ain't going to last long. So the natives are extremely restless. So what can we do? Oh, let's bring in this, and we can all sing Super Frankie Lampard again.
Don will be leading the chants.
I mean, it is such short-term thinking from a club that are absolutely spending millions on players.
So who is going to be their long-term coach if indeed Lampard comes in interim? Well, reports today that Luis Enrique flying to England for an interview. That puts him at 2-1 according to the bookies. Nagelsmann at 11-4. Luis Garcia, of course, with us, knows Luis Enrique well.
Who's put Bruno Salter in there?
I don't know.
Because I tell you what,
the bookies, Craig.
He's not even 8 million.
Poor Luis, he just wants to answer this question and go to bed.
No, he's gone scuba diving. Late night scuba diving.
That's what he wants to do. Luis, if Luis called you up and said, should I go to Chelsea, what would you say?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. But I will say as well, do our due diligence like Grace mentioned. And let me say something about what is all this about Chelsea thing that you are guiding, how to fix it. I'm going to give it my view from outside. I'm a different view because I'm not a big fan of Chelsea, but I think that I'm not going to get into big trouble saying that the first thing that you have to do as a big club, massive club with such an amount, a big budget is to try to sign a good sporting director. Start from somewhere that can build up for the future. Start from somewhere. It's very easy to spend money on players. This is now 170 here, under here, 50 here. But after, if you don't put everything together, we've seen so many examples of big teams or massive teams spending so much money and at the end on the field, not feeling that. Right now is Bruno Saltor. I had the chance of knowing him for quite a long time. We got the pro license together, and I know that he is a very professional. You're not going to go higher. You're not going to go further down in the table. So why not keep in this player and start building from the future? Start building from next year. Probably you're not going to get in Champions League. If you bring Lampard, you're going to start thinking about putting pressure to the players, putting pressure to the manager, knowing that he's not going to stay in the next year because you know that you're going to try to fight. Why don't build up the house from the base instead of from the roof? I think that they need to start putting this club in hands of people who knows football, know who are fans about football, know who are just thinking about the club and the history and everything. No, thinking about we have to build a project for this team in the long term. 10 years then, because if not, you're going to continue spending money. 1 year is going to be good, but the second one is not going to be good because at the end, it's about the connection of the players. For me, Luis Enrique would be a fantastic signing. Signing because...
To that point, Luis, obviously, you know, he's heralded as one of the best managers in the world. To use Craig's word, does he really want to walk into this circus?
I think if he walks in, it's because he's going to bring a project. He's not going to jump in and say, okay, give me the players and I'm going to try to do my best. This is a manager who knows exactly what is football. He's been one of the top players for Spain and international. We all know Real Madrid, Barcelona with the national team. But also his character is very special. He's very honest. He's a hard worker. He's coming with a fantastic team. He knows the Premier League. He knows La Liga. He knows Europe because he's been signing players, he's been following players. And I can tell you that he's not going to jump on into the next job just thinking about, okay, I'm going to be here. And, okay, if you want to kick me out after two years, that's fine for me because the only thing that I want is just to get the results. It's going to come with a big project. It's going to come with a structure for the academy. It's going to come with a structure for signing players with a fantastic scout team. That's the way that you build something for the future. That's the way you build a project. You don't build a project just signing a manager and expecting results in just 6 months.
Well, they won't. But one second, they won't get that.
That's what I was going to say. Do you give them the keys to the castle?
No.
And just say, go.
Well, they're not going to do that because they've already brought in 2 sporting directors.
Right.
Paul Winstanley and somebody else. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't know them if they popped up as a crouton in my soup.
Lovely.
To be quite honest with you.
Yes. Yeah.
And Graham Potter is probably at home cursing blind about it because they were just going out and putting players on a conveyor belt and they were just coming in every day during the transfer window. And I know sporting directors go out and sign players and you know, find players that they want and all that, but you've got to have a process along with what your manager wants in terms of the time frame of players coming in so that you can manage them. So if Luis Enrique comes to the club thinking he's going to get carte blanche over an owner who thinks he knows a bit about the game, Todd Burley that is, and his other mate Igbali, and then 2 sporting directors who are probably having, you know, at the end of the day, see who's the most powerful, who can get the best player to come in and who looks the best, then it's a difficult scenario, particularly with the size of that squad. You know, so I think you have to be careful, particularly at this club, because this club, with the ownership change, has just changed dramatically. There was a lot of people at the club who, whether we agree or not with the way it was run under Abramovich, knew their job and knew about football. And that's why Chelsea had an element of success. Now it's just a scattergun approach with all these new people in, and Luis Enrique won't get carte blanche to manage the club the way he wants. Otherwise, they'll need to sack and change all the decisions that they've made in the last 9 months.
If it was as simple as choosing between Luis Enrique and Nagelsmann, who's a better fit for this situation?
I would say Luis Enrique. I don't think that Julian Nagelsmann did a very good job of actually handling the spotlight of Bayern Munich and a lot of the personalities within that locker room. I don't think they quite bought into his magnificent ideas of how the game should be played. Luis Enrique is a really, really good manager, but also a prickly personality that he is going to be the boss the moment he shows up in the locker room. And I think this team needs structure. Well, the club needs structure, but this team needs structure. And if indeed you're going to be working with 40 players, you're going to have a manager in place that is able to make tough decisions and say, nope, this guy's not for me, that guy's not for me. And the club are going to have to be able to support the decision of this manager. Because if you're thinking about the future, then you have to build on something. And that platform is going to be provided by Luis Enrique and his ideas. I think Luis Enrique is a better manager than Julian Nagelsmann, and I think it's a manager that is much more as a matter of fact. Not so much about this global ideas of the game, revolutionary ideas. No. This is how we're going to play. This is how we're going to win. We need to be very clear as to how we're going to get from point A to point B, not just philosophically wonder about those ideas.
Less than 12 months into their ownership, they're already looking for a manager to come in and bail out their bad decisions, right?
Yeah.
What if Luis Enrique walks in and they got all these players and like the ones that signed recently on ludicrously long long contracts? What if Luis Enrique comes in and goes, "It's been a long day, been a long day."
No, you got it. You're in it. You got it.
I'll try again. What if he comes in and says, "Don't like Modric, don't like Havertz, not a fan of Badiashile." Picks out 7 or 8 players. Where does that leave them?
They're on 7 to 8 year deals.
They're on huge money, long-term deals, and by the way, as Ali mentioned, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them. So it's not a simple situation. This club at the moment has such an imbalanced, huge squad of players that they are going to have to get rid of a lot of them. But until they appoint a new manager, they can't all be on the same page in terms of what ones actually need to go.
And also, there can be an assumption.
I'm laughing because Luis just wants to go to bed.
Sorry, but just one last point, Luis. There cannot be an assumption from Chelsea's perspective that managers around the world are lining up to be part of this mess.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, while I understand that you're taking your time and you want to be thorough in the process, if you let this get to the summer, there may be other opportunities that open up for these managers that you consider to be your candidates in better situations. And if that's the case, you end up picking at the back of the line. Don't think that you're at the front of the line just because you're Chelsea.
I don't think we should be letting Luis go. I'm being serious, and I'll tell you why. Because anybody that makes a schoolboy error of making themselves available at 3 a.m. in the Maldives deserve to see this show out to the end.
That's it. Don, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah.
4 a.m. Oh, my God.
Go to bed, Luis. Go to bed.
There it is. Hey! Thank you very much,
Team player.
Luis. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.